Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I have Lewis Emmanuel with me. Lewis, would you like to introduce yourself to the
Hey
guys who
man,
don't
what's,
know you?
what's going on, people? What's going on, people? Lewis Emmanuel. I'm 20, and I'm a classic bodybuilder, and I'm looking to go relatively far in this industry. Just
Yeah,
say, yeah,
I see you. I see you on your Instagram and on your socials in general, and you're very active. You put out very high quality content. As you before we started recording, guys, I asked him what he did full time because I wasn't sure. And he said he was a videographer, which makes perfect sense because if you
yeah,
look at his content on Instagram, which I'll tag in the description below, it's very high quality content, and you're very. I wanted to get you like I have an initial list of people that I had that I wanted to introduce and invite on to the podcast. And you were definitely towards the top of the list. Obviously, you're one of the first. You're the top. You're in the top five guests. So
well, bro,
because you're obviously you and I have spoken at shows and that in
yeah,
person. That you're very engaging. You're a very interesting guy. Like you know what I mean. Your confidence for me is what is refreshing to me.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, your confidence is refreshing. Like when the podcast ain't out yet, but I had a podcast. I'm not gonna ruin it, but I had a podcast Friday. We basically spoke about new athletes coming into the sport and feeling uneasy, feeling a little bit nervous and that. And I remember as good as I clearly ended up being, I didn't believe that I was that good. So my confidence, I was really nervous my first ever show. And what was striking with you is when I first met you, you were, I want to say you were 19,
Was that the first season?
2020, I think, or 2021, or
British
2021,
one? It
sorry.
was probably 21.
Yeah,
21.
yeah,
Um,
2021.
was it the British finals?
It was the qualifier as well.
If it was the qualifier, then I was 18.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah,
remember you was young because I remember asking
yeah,
you how old you were, and you were like, I remember you saying you were a teen, and I was like, what the fuck? First of all, because your quality, you're top, you're
yeah.
like you're a top athlete, and your confidence just before I even spoke to you on stage, like I was like, you'd have thought he'd been here like 100 times. Like your confidence in your posing, how you present yourself, like it just your eyes, like from the audience, my eyes were just drawn to you when you were on stage against the other guys. And obviously you're a talented athlete anyway, but then the extra points you gain from your presentation
Yeah,
it's striking, man. It's striking. It's striking.
I appreciate that, man.
Um,
Yeah.
let's start on your past. Let's start on your past
Mhm.
competition. So, do you want to run through your credentials when you started competing, what you've done so far?
Let's go. Okay, so um, okay, let me think off the top of my head. So I've done 7 shows altogether.
Cool.
Let me see if I can run through them. So number one was the BMBF Southern, and at that show, yeah, that was my very first show. 18 years old, had no idea what the hell I was doing,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
but I just went in there and winged it, and that was the first time I got first place. So I got first
Mhm.
place in my first show.
Yeah.
Second one, UK DFBA Southern, come second there. Um, understandable. I kind of understood it. It was quite difficult at the time. Going
I'm sure.
from
I'm
first
sure.
to second,
Yeah,
slap in the face.
yeah.
But then the third and fourth were both British finals. So obviously we've done the BMBF finals together.
Mhm.
That's where you got that lovely pro card.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so there I won my class there as well. Then went to the overall, which was fun.
Mhm.
Um, and I also done the UK DFB international show, and I came first there as well. Personally, like through that whole year, that was the best look.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like I don't know what everything just looked. Oh man, you know what I mean.
Your peak was just good. You peaked well.
It was
Yeah.
perfect. It was perfect that time around. So that was my first. That's collectively my first season. I was supposed to then go off and take a year off and then come back 2024.
Yeah.
No, 2023. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but we decided. I kind of got a little bit impatient because
Mhm.
I've kind of noticed that that's my thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I don't really like not having a goal, especially when it comes to stage. I don't really like not having a goal, man.
Yeah.
I need something relatively short term and then a little bit long term as well.
Mhm.
Uh, that way I can kind of keep my head in the game.
Yeah.
But we ended up doing 3 shows last year. So the
Right.
first one being the BNBF Midlands.
Yeah.
and I had to jump up to the junior class, obviously, so that's under 23s.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I won that first show. Then we decided, you know what, like, where do I want to go in the future? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what sort of direction did I want to take this in?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I knew where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So we decided to do a PCA classic show.
Yeah.
So this is open classic, bro.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So like, there's no requirements, there's nothing. So we just got sorted into tall, medium, short.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, you know what, I'm going into like a gunfight with a spoon here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
said. I said
Yeah.
this to everyone. I'm going into a gunfight with a spoon.
Yeah.
What do I need to do now to give me the better odds? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So this is when you kind of probably see me through that whole season. I was just bringing in more of the charismatic, like Pose and kind of Lewis. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
taking advantage of what I know I could do
Yeah.
because like. Bro, I love to dance when I was like little, man. And it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
build that flow, you build that confidence.
Yeah.
I just thought, you know what, let me take that, chuck it into everything that I'm doing on the stage.
Mm.
I ended up going, there was a group of six of us. I come second at that
Right.
show.
Right. 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 That's good.
And obviously that in our head, in like everyone's head around me, we were all shocked.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
we understood, like, all right, cool. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we cracked the code there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I finished off the season with the BNBF finals, come second to a very, very good bodybuilder, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
James is very good, bro.
Yeah, yeah, James is good. James is good. Your physique at the moment, well, you're 20, so he's 2 years ahead of you. So there's a level of muscular maturity that he'll have that you won't quite have yet. And so much about bodybuilding this time. Obviously, genetics plays a
It
massive
is, isn't
part as
it, man?
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, but so much of it is time. When you're under the bar for a longer period of time, you'll get what you want from it.
You get
You'll
more,
get.
man. Yeah, 100%.
But no, when I saw you, because I was at the shows last year as well. I saw you at the Midlands last year, and I saw you at the British finals. Last year? Yeah, last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last year.
last year. Sorry, time, man. Time's
Oh,
moving
weird
too
saying
quick.
that, man.
We're in
Weird saying that.
April just now.
Yeah.
Mad, mad.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, last year. And I see you again. Obviously, we had another chat. So another thing I want to touch on, for most of when me and you discussed it anyway, for most of your like most of your competitive experience, you've
Mhm.
coached yourself, maybe with a mentor, maybe, but you've more or less coached yourself.
It was sort of like I would like to say mentorship.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
along that line.
yeah.
So my whole first season, I had one of my coaches from powerlifting
Right.
overseeing everything that I was doing, basically.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And obviously, he had guidance from other people, and it was sort of like a collective sort of thing where we kind of
Yeah.
came together, figured it out together because
Mhm.
it was everybody's first time doing it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
But it did get to the point with that one where I was quite hesitant in my head. I'm like, you know what? I know I should be doing something like this,
Yeah,
but I'm getting told to do something like this.
yeah,
And my nature, I'm just quite defiant. I'm quite a defiant person.
yeah.
And it's probably one of my worst traits, right? Um,
Mhm.
so I would end up doing what I thought was right instead.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
think over time, what that kind of does generate is just a bit of resentment
yeah, yeah,
between two parties. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that was the first coach I had. So when I finished that first season, um, I ended up shifting over to one of my friends, one of my good friends, Leon Pierce.
yeah. Mhm.
So the Physique Collective. So he's like a part of that whole group,
Right,
uh,
right, right, right.
just like a coaching group. They're brilliant guys.
Yeah,
But I've now kind of switched over to him. He's done everything that I want to do, sort of thing,
yeah,
just in the competitive season.
yeah,
So it was a lot more easier for me to kind of say, yeah, you know what, like I can work with this, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So what we've kind of come up to with our agreement is just we want to put both of our ideas together, I guess you
Mhm.
could say,
Mhm.
and work like that instead, because we
Word.
both know enough about everything to be
Yeah,
able to, you know what, this is going to be the best way for us to
yeah,
do this.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then we had one of the best seasons,
Yeah, you looked significantly bigger last year than you did the first year I saw you.
which is
But
weird. It wasn't a long time.
but you're young and you clearly have the genetic potential to grow into your
Yeah,
physique a lot more. Like
yeah,
most young people your age do, but the amount that you put on, I was like, that's a different bodybuilder. That's a completely
yeah,
different
man.
bodybuilder to the one I saw before.
Yeah,
So it was scary. Like I the fact that you finished second to James and Koss was behind you
yeah.
third. Pass is also a big bodybuilder. I met him 2019 as well, and he
Yeah,
was in the overall as well.
yeah,
And like they're good juniors. They're like, well, you three are the best juniors that I'm aware of in the UK. Like amateurs. You
yeah.
guys are the best. You guys are the three best that I've seen to this date. I know there are other top juniors, I'm sure. Will Chickham's not junior anymore, is he? So
No, he's 23. Well, he's 20. He could have, but
I would
you know, he
right.
didn't want to. You
Well,
know,
he's obviously up there. He's obviously up there as well. But you guys are like the ones that I've seen. I'm like, yeah, they're top. Koss really impresses me. I like his upper body width and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Like you all have you're also different. You're
Very
also
different, man.
different. You're
Very,
also
very.
different.
Yeah.
It was really good to watch. That was probably the most competitive weight class that I saw that day, either that one or the heavyweights at the BNBF British.
Oh, the heavyweights. Oh,
The
that.
heavyweights
Yeah.
were good. Like it was good that year, man. The middleweights, obviously my boy Liam. I don't know if you know Liam Paul.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my boy Liam. Obviously, I'm biased. Yeah, I thought he had that down pat from the minute he stood on stage. I was like,
Yeah.
it's his. But yeah, heavyweights and your juniors and heavyweights, they were the most competitive classes for me that year. Anyway, so going forward, obviously you have posted on your Instagram before, so it shouldn't be a shock to the guys who already know you. You have decided to go the enhanced route
Yeah,
with
man.
things. So going forward, your physique at the moment, I've seen it. You've obviously packed on a ton of size in a short period of time, but you've maintained your lines, which is very, very important.
Yeah, man.
It's what I've seen pictures of you, and I was like, whoa! Like I saw the picture before I knew you went enhanced, and I was like, what the hell happened to this guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like twice the size, like fuck. And then yeah, obviously read up and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So with your physique structure maintaining such a pretty shape with the added tissue you've got so far, because I
Mhm.
assume you're gonna off season the entire year, this entire year, and then maybe come back 2023, or you're gonna compete this year. Okay, all right. So right, no, let's not start on that yet then. Hold that. So so right then. So what are your plans? I know obviously you've already mentioned classic, and that would be my assumption. Is
Yeah.
that long term is classic where you would like to embed yourself as a top athlete?
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
I think it's just because um as the months go by and like as I kind of get deeper into this,
Mm,
you start to realize, yo, listen, this is what I love to I love to do this. I
yeah.
love to do this, man. And I think for me specifically, I
Mm,
want to keep my health in a very, very good position, man.
yeah.
Like a lot of these guys are very much prepared to
Mhm.
chuck away years to be at that top spot.
Yeah.
Me personally, no, I can't do that, man.
Yeah. I don't
I
blame
can't do that, bro. But
you. I don't blame you.
luckily enough, we've been gifted in we've got the gift to be
Yeah,
able to say,
you
you
do.
know what, we can get to that point
Yeah.
without detriment in any of my health.
Yep.
So I think I'm gonna have to play it smart, man. I'm gonna have to prove a point.
I think that's the overwhelming reason that I've not jumped on the enhanced route. Because
Mm,
when I talk about bodybuilders that I love and I take inspiration from, if I pick 10, six of them are enhanced. The Ronnie Colemans, the
yeah,
Sean Faridas, the William Bonacks, like you know what I mean, the big
yeah,
guys.
the big hitters, man. Yeah,
Yeah, the big hitters. So it's I've never from the time I started had any stigma against the enhanced side of things. Although I made the decision very early. Obviously, only started training at 21, and
Mhm.
my first show was 23. So
Hey, yeah,
yeah, was it even 21? Because I've only been training 6.5 years. 22. 22, I started training. I had my first competition 23
yeah,
years old, and then yeah, that's me. So I made a decision very early coming from football. Like there was such a harsh stigma over anything, steroids, anything.
yeah,
It was
man.
like I was never gonna go that route really for me personally, although I respected what it was. Um so cool. That brings me on to actually no. I want to build on that a little bit more. So
And yeah, yeah,
how long ago? Because obviously you got immediate success as a natural, and you're still very, very young. Sorry, my
yeah.
camera annoys the hell out of me. Um,
Got it, got it.
how soon after you started competing did you decide that you were going to go enhanced, or was it a I don't want to say a last minute decision. You don't seem like the type of person to make impulsive decisions, but was it like a matter of, right, I did 2022, I won, I put on a ton of muscle in a short period of time. If I start young, I can become a top IFBB pro by the time I'm 20, whatever, 24, 25.
Yeah. So it was very much calculated from my side,
Okay.
but we over the duration of that second season that I done,
Mm-hmm.
the time in which I was supposed to go on shifted forward.
Right. Okay.
So I'll break it down real quick, just so
Yeah,
just
yeah,
everyone's in the loop here. Okay,
yeah,
so the first season, I done the first season. I realized, oh, you know what, this could possibly be sort of like a thing that I could do. You
yeah,
know, like we could pull it off.
yeah,
So after that season, I was like, you know what, I don't want to go on that young. I still had to figure out my life. I was trying to do this, that, and the other.
yeah.
Still at college at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Lockdown, all this kind of crap, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know what, this isn't the year. So I wanted to take a year off, then do the 2023 season, and then think about it after that.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, when we got into 2022, I then got impatient, said, you know what, I want to jump into a prep.
Yeah.
But I knew obviously as a junior, I would need a little bit more time. You know,
Mm.
I said, you know what, I'm going to make it difficult for myself because that's what I like to do, bro. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to so
yeah,
the odds are against me.
yeah,
So I said, you know what, I'm just going to prep.
yeah.
I had 4 weeks for my first show. I
Fuck.
prepped, I prepped 4 weeks for my first show. Um, Luckily enough for me, I kept a good position for that whole time that I was off and I wasn't competing. So
Yeah.
4 kilos off in 4 weeks. Then I
Yeah,
stepped
that's all
on
right.
stage and I won that show.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, Me, my coach, everybody around me, we were talking, oh, you know what? This could work.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't like satisfied enough. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
didn't really prove enough to myself to say, you know what, I'm allowed to do that.
yeah,
Because in my head, I'm not going to do it for the 50-50 chance of me getting to a certain level.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I need to be able to say to myself, you know what, regardless of what anyone else thinks, I know in myself, I can get to the top point.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we said, you know what, fuck it, we're going to do a fucking classic show. And we're
Mm-hmm.
going to go into literally what I said, a spoon into a gunfight,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're going to see how you feel up there. I
yeah,
walked up to that stage, bro, and Jesus Christ, man, I felt like I was supposed to be there.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, 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 yeah,
like everything that I just done on that day, I own the stage, man. You know, and especially for
yeah,
people that are watching in the audience, they just said, yo, your everything about you just stood out to everybody. And that's why you
mm-hmm.
can, you know, and you could see in your physique that you weren't taking anything.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
was a little bit softer than some of the guys, but there was the amount of muscle that I was holding and the way I was able to present myself made such a huge impact. So that was the tipping point. It
yeah,
was the
yeah,
PCA show. So we said, you know what? We've done that. Once we finish this season,
yeah.
we'll,
We're jumping on.
yeah. So
I go on. Sorry, go on.
no. I was just gonna say. So we done the BNBF show.
Yeah,
2 days later, I started.
yeah. I did see it was soon after because I
Yeah,
saw your post after, and I was like,
yeah.
oh, he's on it immediately. Like,
Do you want to know the reasoning behind that?
yeah, go on. Yeah, go on.
Because obviously, if you kind of like, you know how it feels when you've come off a prep and you're coming off that rebound.
Yes.
It's great,
Yeah.
right? I was in a very low point. I was a very low point. I was what 70, 73, 74 kilos on stage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We came off. I went straight on. My test levels were back up to where they usually would be in about 2 weeks compared to about 4 months.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They
Yeah. Yeah.
they shot up so fast,
Yeah.
and all it took was this much, bro.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You're gonna be hyper responsive, man. You're gonna be
I
hyper
was
responsive.
yeah, and to be fair, looking at it now, I added 16 kilos,
Fuck.
and
And you're in fantastic shape.
thank you, bro. Yeah, man. So I'm
Yeah, you're
gonna
tight, man.
keep it, man.
You look good, man. Like, listen, I everything about your personality, it shines through in the decisions you make. Like the content you choose to put out, it's very in your face. It's not maybe, but it's no, this is what I'm putting out. This is what it is. The
Yeah,
decisions
man.
you make on stage, the way you pose, the decision to become enhanced with no, like, nah, this is what we're doing. Like we stood on the PCA stage and smoked guys natty.
Yeah, man.
I'm doing it and I'm gonna become the best at what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
man.
And I definitely think you have the potential to do it. You're very, very talented. You're like like I said, when I first saw you, I was like, me and Opio were sitting in the stands together when we first saw you, and I was like, shit, he's good. Like he's very good. And Opio was like, yeah, he's very confident. Like you can tell it's like he's been there before. And it's infectious, Lewis. It's infectious because I'm telling you, I saw you and I was like, if I could start again, I would have just went in there with the confidence of knowing that I was the shit, basically. Like
Yeah,
you, because you know when you're good.
that's what it was, man. You
Yeah,
know,
you know when you're good and you step on there and you're like, I'm the
yeah,
shit. Like win or lose, I know I'm great. Like,
yeah. It's the emotion that goes behind it, man.
yeah, yeah.
Everything starts from here, bro.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Look,
You're
you
right.
could look
And
20 out of
you're
10. Like,
what?
if you could look 20 out of 10, bro, you could look like, regardless of who's going to turn up, you're going to win, right?
Yes,
If you don't
yes,
think that yourself,
yeah.
you've already lost the battle.
So much of that is body, so much of that is what bodybuilding is. And I think people get messed up. So I used to play football, and football is different. If you tell another team your tactics, they can defend against it.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding is not about that. Bodybuilding is being better than the guy you were yesterday and making sure that you're progressing enough, just you against you in the gym, that whoever stands next to you, they can't beat you. You're not, I'm not like, there are like me versus you. I have a nice shape, but that's not really my calling card. I do have a nice shape, but it's not my calling card. My calling card is being short and dense,
Yeah.
densely muscled. Yeah. You can train like I train. I can train like you train. I'm not going to gain your strengths. It's just not that. It's not how not
Yeah.
how it works. Me and you can be literally enemies, stage enemies, like rivals to the fullest, and train together. It won't affect anything.
No.
Bodybuilding's different. It's you versus you, and you got to make sure that, like you said, if you're 20 out of 10 for what you can maximize for your physique, man ain't gonna beat you. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. Like you like bodybuilding's different. But anyway, yeah, I'm a big fan of your confidence. So let's talk about your videography because I am personally very interested in that. So you said to me earlier that you before we started recording that you've been full-time videographer for 7 months.
Yeah, man.
Walk me through what you were doing before that, what made you think you wanted to do that, and then taking the jump to actually doing it.
Cool. Okay. Cool. So I'll start from college.
Mhm.
Let me give like a just so we don't have to go too far back into
Yeah,
like
yeah,
school.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so college. I finished college and then we got chucked into lockdown
Mhm.
right at the end of my thingy. So I didn't do any of my exams. I just got my predicted grades and we kind of went on with our lives.
Right,
Okay.
right, right, right.
And obviously we were in lockdown for however long. I've completely lost track of how long it was.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was long. It was long. It was long.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it was during that time, man. I kind of this. I was like, all right, cool. You know what? I'm here. Like I've built a gym in my garden so I can train. Um,
Mhm.
I might as well record a bit of this, man. So I started doing a bit of YouTube stuff,
Yeah.
dabbling in that. People started to like that and enjoy it. I
Yeah.
started to enjoy my time more behind the camera again,
Yeah.
which was brilliant. I was like, you know what, this is great. And I kept that up through the whole of lockdown. We eventually was able to get out. I went back to my gym. Um, when I got back to my gym, they had a media guy there. Okay.
Right.
And he was doing all the media and the stuff for the gym. And I was obviously just filming with my camera, going around doing this, that, and the other. And he
Mhm.
said, oh, man, your stuff's good. Do you want to come and do a couple bits for me as well? So like there, instantly, I kind of then got introduced to the business side of what I was doing behind the camera.
Yeah.
And I was able to just like what I kind of tend to do is whenever I get chucked into situations like that, I soak all of it up. I soak everything up, everything.
Mhm.
I had all of that. And over the couple of months, I ended up taking his job
Right.
because I took everything in and we rotated and
Yeah.
we switched sides. So I
Yeah.
was working at that gym, doing all their content. And that kind of just allowed me to get my skills up to the point where I wanted them to be. Um,
Right.
so yeah, that's the story and kind of like how it started, man. From there, obviously, I worked there for a while. That was through my first season. So
Right.
this is
Right. Right. Right.
a while back, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was from my first season. I ended up leaving there when it came to the off season, after my season.
Mhm.
Um, And I started just doing little bits for people. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's kind of like a freelance thing that I've got going on the side.
Mhm.
I was bouncing in and out of jobs, man, just to kind of keep me ticking over, I
Yeah.
guess you could say. Um, and it was difficult, man. It was very very difficult. Like looking back at it, but I managed to keep it up, man.
Yeah.
I just kind of kept my morale high. Um, and obviously at that point, I ended up. I think it was maybe about this time last year. I ended up started working for Royal Mail.
All right.
Yeah, so I was a postman through my whole season.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And obviously that sort of did help because I was doing maybe 25,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was difficult, man. Like it was very taxing, but I think I've never put myself through that much strain to see success. I guess
Yes.
you
Yeah.
could say.
Yeah.
Like I was doing 5 days a week at Royal Mail, whilst putting in with those extra 2 days that I had through the week, I was putting in clients that I was picking up.
Right, right, right.
So I had no days off whilst prepping.
Yeah, that's a lot,
um,
man.
yeah, and then the clients just started to build up quite quickly. I'm like, yo, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do both of these here.
Mm.
The end of the season came, and I said, you know what, my season's finished. I won't be able to put on weight if I'm still doing 25,000 steps a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And I said, you know what, I'm in a position here where I'm just going to say, fuck it, let's just try it.
Yeah.
The scariest thing I've ever done in my life
Yeah, yeah.
is put that job to the side to
Mm.
say, I'm going to try and do this. And then from that point there, I think it was within that week, my client base tripled just from my one decision to say, you know what, let me stop this. Then
Yeah,
I
do this full time.
7 days, and my client base tripled. And then from there, I've just been running it, and I've just been building up clients ever since, man. Like,
Listen, it's inspiring, man. I just think this sport, especially natural, you
mhm.
don't, it's not the most lucrative. Even if you're a big name and you get sponsorships, only so many of us really get lucrative sponsorships. So you
Yeah,
can't really live off what you're making. It can maybe top up your account a little bit,
yeah.
but realistically, it's not what you're gonna get if you were IFBB Pro at the top.
That's completely different. Yeah, man.
Completely different. So it's inspiring stuff. The fact you've taken that jump just to do something that you find as positive. And one thing I like about what you said as well, which shows me where your heart is at with bodybuilding as a whole, is you looked at your passion project as being a potential earner for you, and then you looked at the downside of working at Royal Mail, and you're
Mm.
like, I can't progress my physique the way I want if I'm walking however many steps a day at Royal Mail.
Yeah,
That shit's got to go. Because I did that early. Like I
yeah.
used to work, so I worked in a care home for adults with learning disabilities for 2 years. I
Mhm.
used to play football back then. I was still playing semi-pro football back then. Then I got injured, so I had to hang that shit up. I went to work in a school. I worked in a school for about a year. Then I moved to before I worked in a school, sorry, that was the important bit as well. I went to do an apprenticeship to get my business admin level 3 because I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, and the only reason I went and did that was because I was like, I want to work in an office because it's Monday to Friday. That means I can then
Uh-huh.
bodybuild.
Yeah.
That's literally the only reason I did it.
It's the structure that comes along with it as
It's
well,
the
isn't
structure that comes along with it.
it?
It was shift work in care. I liked it, but it was like it's shift work. I can't do that, and the money wasn't great anyway. Um, yeah, the money wasn't fantastic, and I wanted to level up anyway, so I went and did that. And every job I moved to, the more they asked from me, and it started affecting my bodybuilding. I was like, I'm gonna leave and go somewhere else.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been in the same at the same company for more than 2 years. So,
Bro.
and I've been working since I was 16. I'm 28. So I've never been in the same because
Yeah.
it gets to a point where like I'm like you. I'm very passionate about being great at stuff. So I
Yeah.
soak things in and like I get to that point and I'm like, right. And then they ask more from me and more from me and more from me. And I'm like, this is encroaching on why I'm actually here. Because
Yeah.
I'm not here to be great for you. I'm here to be great for me so that I
Yeah,
can
no, 100%, man.
that's it. And
100%.
now, like I was an engineer not long ago. I've been a manager since for about a year now, which is good because I now split. I work from home like 3 days a week.
Oh,
So a lot of what I got to do now as a bodybuilder, I can do both. So I earn good money doing what I'm doing on my 9 to 5, and then obviously I can have time to do this stuff and edit this stuff, and I can still train and be a good bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you said what you said about that, because I think more, I'm not telling no one to jump ship and leave their job to go bodybuild, but there are certain considerations I think that need to be made. If you're talking to me saying you want to be the next Chris Bumstead, but you are working in a warehouse doing 25 to 30,000 steps a day, lifting heavy boxes every day, all that kind of stuff. You're missing meals every day because you don't get a proper lunch break, blah, 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 blah. Leave your job. Go find a job that's more more conducive of the lifestyle you know you need to live
It needs to
to
be
be able
suited.
to be great.
Yeah.
You have to, like, not everyone can be self-employed. Not everyone has the ability to have the skills you have of a videographer,
Yeah.
to have a flexible lifestyle. Not everyone has what my coach Opio has, to have a really lucrative client base where he can basically, obviously you're working hard as hell because you work for yourself, but
Yeah.
you can move a little bit more fluid. It's your clock. It's your time.
Yeah.
Your
100%.
time. It's your time. So yeah, anyway, without ranting for too much longer, that to me is always important. I like getting that through to like young guys, because they're really impressed with like with what I do, for example. They're like, oh, how do you do your 9 to 5 and then do this and then do that? Part of it is obviously you just have to be built to do that mentally.
Yeah.
But another thing is like my life is set up for that. My wife is incredibly supportive. Like, don't get me wrong, I cook all my meals and that, but that's my choice. I like cooking. Like, but if
Yeah.
I asked her, sorry, Diana, do you mind cooking 2 of my meals a day? Just because it helps me out, it means I don't have to think about that. She do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Like, I just,
Brilliant, man.
yeah, decisions you make, the decisions you have to make in your life to affect the things that, it doesn't have to be bodybuilding. It could be anything. It could be
Yeah.
anything. Like you and your videography, you clearly are passionate about it. Like, yeah, it could be anything. You just have to make the decisions and the sacrifices, if you want to say that,
Yeah.
to go do what's important to you, if it's that important to you. If you just bodybuild as a hobby, by all means, it doesn't matter, does it? Don't quit your job
Right.
for that. Don't quit your job for that. But me and you want to be great. So
There's a difference. That's what I'm saying, man. There's a difference in between having it as a hobby and kind of I would say, let's say three. I'm going to put three categories of people. Yeah. So you're going to have it as a hobby where realistically it doesn't really matter kind of like if it affects, like you don't really want it to affect your normal life, but you do
no.
on the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
training isn't crazy, the
Yeah,
food
yeah.
isn't crazy. Then you have the delusional ones in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Are the ones
Yeah, yeah.
you'll know these ones, yeah.
Yeah,
So these
yeah.
are ones where they think they're gonna go all the fucking way,
Yeah.
but you know full well just like the genetic capabilities of where they can get to will
It's
only
not
get them to a certain point,
yeah.
because at the end of the day it does go down to our genetic structure and how we can put on muscle, how it
Of
looks,
course.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the people that don't have that and they think they're going to go all the way to the top,
Yep.
right? That's that category. And then you have us in this category over here,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
is where we know full well we can get to that point.
Yeah.
It's just about how much we're willing to sacrifice at that time to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. And for the people that are going to be upset with the way he phrased that, think of it like this. Think of it like this. I'm 5'5". This is the same analogy I use all the time. I'm 5'5". Yeah. I'm not going to be in the NBA. I'm just not.
Yeah.
It's not, no one's being mean to me. No one's, you know what I mean? We're not just being mean to people. Like these sports, we're good at what we do. And there's the elite, and then there's us, and then there's the average guys, and so on and so forth. It's because some people are better than others. It's not about being inclusive. It's about being good at what the sport is.
Yeah.
I'm not good at golf. Do you expect me to just walk onto next to Tiger Woods and just be like, be nice to me and let me play? No.
Yeah.
You're just, you know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. So you're 100% right. But yeah, you're right. You're right. And those three categories are definitely the most prominent that I've seen.
Yeah.
But the ones in the middle, not having the genetic capacity to be elite does not mean don't bodybuild.
100%.
But when you sit there and you think to yourself, right, I want to be this guy. I'm not going to tell anybody not to do that without them asking my opinion. But if someone comes to me and I see that you've been training for 6-7 years, you've been doing everything right. You train hard, you never miss a meal, you never miss training, you don't drink, you barely have sugar, you don't really go away much because it affects your stuff, and you're still finishing 5th out of 6 guys in an amateur lineup.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, mate. you're not going to be Dave K and Nathan Williams. You're just not.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're not. Like that doesn't mean don't do it. That
Yeah, but
doesn't
this is
mean
what I'm saying.
stop
It
doing
doesn't
it.
mean don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, because you might just enjoy it, but then that just means
Yes. Yeah.
from here, just shift yourself to enjoying it, man, and make sure you can focus on other things around it as well.
That's exactly it, because you're going to lose out on life if you are committing yourself to something that you're never going to achieve. You are
There
going to
we go,
lose
man.
out on life. I'm
Yeah,
20, I'm 28 years old. I was very good at football, and I probably could have made it to a low pro level, maybe non-league, maybe League Two-ish. I reckon
yeah,
I probably could have made it. Um, I'm 28 now. If I said, nah, do you know what? I'm quitting bodybuilding. I'm gonna chase my dream being a football player at 28 years old.
yeah,
Whoever I spoke to, a real friend is gonna say, gee, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut the hell up and go to the gym. Like, what are you talking about?
yeah,
Like, it's madness. Like, what are you talking about? So that, like, some people just need to be told, because you're gonna waste your life chasing something. You're gonna be really upset at the end of it when you don't get what you want.
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be really upset at the end of it when you don't get what you want. Anyway, talking about football, do you have any other interests that don't necessarily relate to bodybuilding, or are you all in on the bodybuilding and the videography split? Are you like,
I think like off the top of my head, I don't really think I've sort of been in I've kind of got like that addictive minds like person
yes,
sort of
I'm
thing
the
where
same. I'm the
it's
same.
like
I'm the same.
I very much chuck myself into something and then that everything surrounds that, you know.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
to be fair, if I was to look at everything that I enjoy, man, it does kind of stem from both.
Yeah. 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 No,
So
no, no, that's fine. I respect it.
I enjoy, obviously I enjoy my videography, man. I
Hmm?
enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy all aspects of that. So everything
Yeah.
that branches off from that, man, I enjoy that. And then my videography as well. Everything that branches off from that. So it goes from computers to fucking playing fucking video games. It's
Yeah.
everything in that sort of category. I
Yeah.
enjoy that. But when it kind of comes to other things, I think it's because most of my friends and everything that we're like everything that I surround myself with surrounds these two things.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I don't really I'm not that kind of guy to have friends that um like I don't have a group of friends that go party every week.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm that one guy that says, nah man, I don't even want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have that. I don't really have that like that I think it's just that clash. I don't really have a clash
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Yeah. You all have the same common interests.
Yeah. So it's very much, oh, do you want to go gym tonight? Yeah, cool, let's go. That's the kind of friends that I have, you
I
know.
like it. I like it. And I think you're bound to be successful in what you do because you center everything around, everything's intertwined.
Yeah,
So one thing directly affects the other. And
100%.
as much as I focus, again, mine is a lot because I have a 9 to 5 that earns obviously my money. But like, I still am more, there's different types of people. I do definitely I lean way more to being a great athlete than I do marketing myself.
Yeah,
What I'm trying to do is trying to trying to balance it a little bit more.
100%, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying my best because it's just about taking time. Like, this is why I started the podcast, a little bit of that, a little bit because I have dreams for the sport in terms of the natural side, where
yeah,
like people are being marketed like the enhanced side. I
100.
don't I know there are great coaches out there and there are great influencers out there, but I don't know if anyone's really, not that I'm doing it, not that I'm doing it, but I'm trying. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't think there's anyone really advocating for the sport. There are people who advocate for different federations,
100%.
but I don't know if there's anyone really advocating to just get in a bunch of natural athletes or a mixture of athletes like yourself who have been natural. Like, you're still relevant, in my opinion. You're more than relevant to the sport, even if 5 years from now you're enhanced. Even if you're IFBB pro 5 years from now, which I'm sure you will be.
Yeah,
Like, I'd still have you on here and be like, talk to the people about the differences between natural and enhanced. Talk to the people about the pros and cons you've learned since being enhanced for this period
yeah.
of time. There's always a relevance, and I don't know if anyone's
I've walked it as well,
really,
man.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know if anyone's really pushing that. And I would love to have the influence online that some of these other guys have, because I think this would have blown up a long time ago. I feel like,
I think because you know what, it's such an interesting like concept to have as well, and I think so many people would happily just dive into watching these sort of podcasts, man, and
yeah,
listening to like the ideologies that me and you share and stuff,
yeah,
just
yeah,
because of the fact that you know what, it's relevant to what's going on at the minute.
Yeah, it is.
especially in the scene. It's very relevant.
I think it's important. Like me and Opio spoke about it. He says like when he's identifying a client that he wants to work with, he's like, oh, a lot of them come from sport previously.
Yeah,
So they have that competitive mindset. Someone like me who have come from sport previously, the thought of steroids, I mentioned it earlier, is an absolute no-go. Like
yeah,
no, it doesn't happen. Whether people do it behind the closed doors or not is a different conversation. But no one's openly doing it. Yeah.
yeah.
So I come into the sport when I swear to God, I swear I sat like I've laughed about this before on one of my previous videos. I thought Ronnie Coleman was natural when I first started. I swear to God,
Really?
because when someone said no, he takes steroids, I'm like, what? And people know, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, so why can he compete? They're like, everyone does it. That concept to me blew my
Yeah.
mind.
You know what? I get that. I do understand that though.
Yeah, it blew my
Yeah,
mind. I was like, what? People are just out here openly taking steroids and then stand on stage. Like, yeah. I'm
because it's
like,
what is it? One of the only sports where you're allowed to do that, no?
yeah, I think it's the only one. UFC specifically, they banned, or sorry, they didn't ban it, but they put in drug testing not that long ago, maybe 5 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah,
UFC for a long time was untested.
yeah.
Yeah, so like what people say all the time, like NFL full of it. Apparently, NFL is full of steroids.
I can see that.
I can 100%
I
see
can see
it
that.
because you
Yeah,
see, like, I don't know if you follow it much. I don't follow it really at all, but I know big names from like Instagram and that.
yeah,
Like DK Metcalf, he's about 6'4". He runs like a 4 second 40-yard dash.
yeah. No, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's insane. I'm
Bro,
like,
it's insane.
you are not a natural human being.
Yeah,
He was about 22 when he was doing that. I'm like, there's no
crazy,
way.
crazy.
There's no way. But anyway, I just yeah, I think it's important because like people like me, I didn't know. Yeah, wait. There we go. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know what involvement steroids had in bodybuilding. I didn't really know any of that, and I just think that is a good conversation to have. Just bringing a personality to natural athletes. Like there's so many talented athletes out there. Like Nathan Williams is an anomaly because as good as he is
Yeah,
on stage, he's also incredibly popular in the industry.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got like 250,000 subscribers or some shit. But like, sorry, followers on Instagram and that. So people know who he is. This camera. People know who he is. People know who he is without knowing he
Following
even
the sport.
competes.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't need to know. But like, there are other guys, they're so talented. And I'm like, not that no one knows who they are, but they're not known enough. They're not
yeah,
known well enough. There's too many influencers that just aren't great bodybuilders. Like, you're not standing on stage with most top amateurs and win it. Like, you're not beating them. But for some reason, you're known way more than these other people. And I don't really get
yeah,
it. I don't hate the game. Like, it is what it is. They are good at social media. That's what
yeah.
they are.
I was gonna say the game's the game in that sense. Is like it's like a different sport in itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's very difficult, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I talk to Nathan about this all the time, man, because
Mm.
Nathan's one of my clients, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, so I work with Nathan every week. So I'm always with Nathan, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
starting up a new YouTube. So everything's moving over to YouTube now, and he wants to progress that as well.
Good.
So
Good.
I'm everything behind that, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of his business.
That's good
Um,
shit.
but I talk to him about this all the time. I'm like, yo, so like, how did it happen? How did you blow up? How did you like gain this sort of influence? And he's just
Yeah.
like, I think there was a point where he was like, yeah, you know what? He enjoys bodybuilding so much, but then he wants to bring it over. And he started early doors, you know,
Yeah.
for years and years and years and years. But it was like small things that just started to get more recognition. And then I think one of the like a video of his back blew up,
Yeah.
and then bang, everything went crazy. But then again, with him, it's the concept that people don't believe he's natural.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's exposure in itself.
Yeah, of
The
course. Of
fact that
course.
people don't think he's natural, and they're like, no way you're natural, but I'm going to follow you anyways.
Yeah.
Just I just want to wait until you say it. You know, like that kind of thing, man.
Yeah.
But that just it gave him so much traction, and he just ran with it. And here we have him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I respect it a lot. You're right. It's a sport within itself because one thing with me, I see signs where I can basically milk a niche and get followers. So, for example,
Yeah.
when Reels first started, I wasn't really putting Reels out when it first started. Then I started putting Reels, Instagram Reels out and making videos and edit my stuff and that because I enjoy doing it mainly is why I do it.
Yeah,
I
man.
was doing it. And one of my um full day of eating clips, 30 seconds long, maybe 45 seconds.
Yeah.
I think it's got like 15,000 views on the reel in like
Yeah.
2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. It got. And I was like, oh shit. Most of my other things are getting between 3 and 6,000, maybe.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit. And typical me, I was just like, oh, that's nice. And I just moved on. Like
Yeah.
I didn't really explore that. I didn't really look into the analytics because I've got a business account, Instagram
Yeah.
account.
So you can see everything, which is
You can
perfect.
see it all. I didn't look into the analytics. I didn't really look into who's looking at that versus who's looking at this. Blah 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 blah. I haven't really been doing that.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm noticing now is I'm really putting out a lot of shorts on YouTube and
Bro,
they're doing well. They're doing well relative to my followers because I don't have many. Subscribers, sorry, I don't have many. So they're doing well in that. They're getting decent numbers. So I'm trying to push that to bring traffic to these videos, plus what I'm doing on Instagram. But it's a lot.
it's difficult, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Do you have
Bro,
TikTok?
it's difficult. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is
So,
what I mean. I ain't got no TikTok, no nothing.
bro, if you get TikTok, it's a hierarchy. Yeah, so you kind of like this is how I always think of it. YouTube is the holy grail, man. This is the hardest shit to get
Yeah,
anything. Yeah.
yeah,
So if whatever you've got over here, you're laughing already.
yeah,
Okay. Instagram is in the middle, where
yeah.
Instagram, you know what? Like you can still make money from this. You can still do everything here. Easy,
Mm.
real, but in the TikTok, bro, it's all fake. Okay. This is bullshit. Like the conversion rate between from TikTok to YouTube is like nothing.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
So that's what I'm saying. So TikTok realistically is one of those ones that it'll kind of go boom, but it won't really affect like any of your other socials, like,
Right,
like a
right.
crazy amount. But then again, it will be always good to have the numbers there. Because when
Yeah,
companies see those numbers and say, "Oh, look, he's big on TikTok," not
yeah,
like it makes any difference to everything else,
yeah,
but then you're pretty big on TikTok. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's one of
yeah.
those ones. But
Yeah, I was never really on it like that. I was
me,
never really
bro,
on
I
it.
hate it, bro.
I'm still not. You are?
I hate it, bro.
Yeah,
It's so crap. But
yeah.
it's one of those things. It's like I just sucked up and said, you know what, let's just do it, man.
Your
Just need to.
your marketing will directly affect your money as well because you're a videographer, you're self-employed. Like
Yeah,
it's important for people who are self-employed within the industry to make sure they're marketing themselves. Because think of it, this is how I always think of it. Because you've got a lot of followers on Instagram. Well, relative to what I think is a lot, you've got a
I
lot of
think I'm
followers.
I'm seeing it like 8.4,
Yeah,
something around
to me
there.
that's a lot. To me that's a lot. So let's put it like this. You've got 8.4. If if half of those people, let's just say 4,000 for the sake of conversation, if 4,000 people are all in the UK based in either the Southeast or Midlands
Yeah,
that follow you, take 500 of those people that are creatives. You've got the 200 of them that are like me who want to do everything on his own. And then you've got 300 people potentially who are like, I'm willing to get a videographer if the price is right. That's 300 potential clients. If
yeah,
you had 300 semi constant clients, meaning 2 videos a month from each of them,
yeah.
you'd be overrun
Ridiculous.
with work.
Yeah,
Overrun.
that's
With
what I'm saying.
me,
Yeah,
because I don't have a direct, I do coach, but it's so sporadic because I don't really push it.
yeah,
Sometimes I'll put a post out, get a couple inquiries, and I just leave it. I don't really do anything else with it.
yeah,
I should, but I know I'm busy. I know I'm busy already because I've got other stuff going on. But like with me, because I'm just trying to be a face, the numbers that I need to get anything from this are going to be a lot higher. I need 100,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers or whatever to get
nice.
traffic, to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah,
if I was a coach, I'd be happy with 5,000 followers because if 1,000 of those people want coaching, whether it's general,
you're
they,
laughing. Yeah,
ah, I'm caked. I'm
yeah,
caked. Like,
you,
you know what I
bro.
mean? So it's definitely you just gotta weigh up what you want from it. You gotta weigh up what you want from it. I think you're doing the right thing. I like the content you're putting out. It's good quality. Obviously, you're a videographer, which clears up why all your stuff is so high quality. but it's good. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Appreciate that, man.
Um, a question I have, I like to talk about holidays a lot. I find myself doing that, but I really love traveling. I really love
Yeah.
traveling. With you being self-employed now, um, do you feel any sort of financial insecurity that may stop you from traveling or going on holidays or doing little things?
Yeah. I think you always were, especially like the fact that I'm young, man, and I'm still trying to navigate the world, I guess you could say, man.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to like become a little bit more like financially literate as well,
Mhm.
just so I know what kind of like decisions I can make, sort of like just in like day-to-day life, man, like where everything's sort of going,
Yeah.
you know. But I think when it comes to like traveling, I think I'll probably pull back and traveling and then start to travel later.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like little holidays, man, like for example, like a weekend or like 2, 3, 4, 5 days, bro, I can pull that out of my schedule so
Yeah.
that I can take those days off, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so it's like it's nice to have the freedom to be able to do that,
Mhm.
but then again, you just want to make sure that I want to make sure everything else is like on the right sort of track, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to start giving myself like all of this like allowing myself to do things like this when there's still so much things that I need to be thinking about beforehand,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, no, 100%, man. Like I enjoy it as well, man. Like
Yeah.
this, I do want to go. I want to go a couple places, man. But
Mm.
it's just about once I find the time and once I know, yeah, you know what, I deserve this. It's cool. I've been working hard. Bang,
Yeah.
yeah, I can go. You know,
Yeah.
but I won't just do it out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I 100% respect that. I asked because you are young and you're very mature, I want to say.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Very, very mature. You sound like me when I was younger, and people have always said to me, I've been an old man since I was a teenager.
Bro,
Like,
same.
I always think about finances, especially. Like, I always need to be 100% sure. And
Yeah,
not expected, but typically, it's stereotypical to say that someone of your age who's making decent money, working for themselves, you're young and popular, and blah, 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 you're going to just spunk your money away and do what you need to do and blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
I think that's also important as well. I think it's important to talk about. Yeah, you're making, in my opinion, anyway, for what it's worth, you're making the right decisions. Obviously, I started working since I was 16. None of it's to be like none of it's to do with bodybuilding or sports and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff. I've just been doing what I need to do. But it's important, man. Like so much of what you do with your finances can allow you to be a better athlete as well.
yeah, 100%.
Because you have a foundation where if your coach says, I need you to get this much food, or I need you to do this. I need you to train at this standard of gym so that you can get the best out of your training. I need you to travel here so that you can train at this gym. I need you to meet me here. I need this. You know what I mean? You can just be like, cool, my money's good. I can put my money into that. And you'll be more inclined to spend it on that because it's something you're passionate about, as
Oh,
opposed to
100%, man. Yeah,
your brethren going, let's go on the weekend, let's go out drinking and all that kind of stuff. I'll spend 500 quid on a table. Like you're like, I don't think so. I'll keep my
yeah,
money.
but bro, I can't. Yeah, just I can't fathom that, bro. You know, I can't. And the thing is, it's like I get it. Some people want to do that, whatever, man. You can
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
I don't need to. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that,
yeah,
person, man. Like I get no enjoyment out of that, bro. And
yeah,
I'm paying for two people, but I'm
yeah.
paying for my brother as well, man. Whilst he's still
Right, right, right.
like, it's not just my finances. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
my finances could be halved,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and my outgoings could be halved
yeah,
if I didn't have a brother. But I do,
yeah,
so I've got a lot more on my plate. So I can't be doing like things like that. I've got to be very much
yeah.
more. I've got to be so much more sensible, man.
It's good, man. It's good. Obviously, there's added pressure that comes with that kind of stuff. But I just
Oh,
think
bro, 100%, man.
but it matures you so much. Because you
Yeah,
make like at a certain extent, it's make or break. It's make or break. And I just think there's so much value for the guys who can take it. It's sink or swim. Like you get chucked into the deep end. It's like there are guys who thrive off of that. I thrive off of that.
yeah,
I prefer to just be left to my own devices to do what I need to do and figure it out. That's how I am. I prefer that. And then there
yeah,
are people who need constant direction, which is also not a bad thing. But it just means you're slightly more reliant on the influence of other people.
yeah,
We guys like us will probably make like a few more mistakes. We might have to deal with hardship a little bit longer because we're trying to do it alone. But
yeah,
once we get there, we've got those skills now. Whereas,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, the other type of person, obviously, they're gonna have assistance from the beginning. So everything will be easy for them from the beginning. They can choose to learn it if they want, but they don't have to because they've got constant support. but you
Yeah.
never really pick up anything yourself. You always you almost have that safety blanket all the time when you
And
have.
it's like a 24/7 safety blanket, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is a 24/7 safety blanket, and I just think we're getting a bit deep talking about life, but I just think all of it wraps in together so much if you're trying to be where we're trying to be.
Yeah.
Like we're completely different in our occupations in that you're self-employed and I work for a company, but the pressures are there. If I want to support my bodybuilding, I need to, and my family, my wife, my house, all this stuff, I need to make sure that my money's in check. I need to make sure I'm making the right decisions. Same for you with well, not a little bit more, a lot more pressure in that you're self-employed. Obviously, you're successful, and I have no doubt
Yeah.
that you will continue to be successful. But
Fingers crossed, man.
yeah. But the same way I can go, well, I might get sacked tomorrow. I get a payout if I get sacked tomorrow.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you if you lose all your clients tomorrow, touch wood, that does not happen.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit different. You're like shit. Now I've got to find a route. So there's that pressure there. But I always respect guys who are self-employed. It doesn't matter what you do. Like self-employed engineers, self-employed videographers, coaches, whatever. I always massively respect it. Like, yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. You jump ship for something you believe in, and it works. And I just think it's so inspiring. Always,
Yeah,
whenever
man.
I hear it, I just love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's a difficult route, man.
I
Very,
bet.
bro.
I bet it's
Like
worth it though. It's I'm
yeah,
sure
man.
it's fruitful when you do it and you look back and ask Opia the same question. As much as the money's good, that's why we work. The
Yeah.
pride you must have in building your own thing.
It's brilliant, man. Yeah. Second to
Yeah,
none, bro.
I can imagine. I can imagine. All right, cool. Next topic, a little bit more bodybuilding, straightforward bodybuilding. Cheat meals.
100%.
What is your structure of cheat meals? So I deliberately do mine. Oh, this is off season, obviously.
Yeah.
I do mine on a Wednesday, which is for performance, and I do one on a Saturday, which is for my wife and socials. That's
Okay.
for my human time, non-bodybuilding. Let me just relax. That's what
Yeah.
I've always done. I've always stayed in relatively good shape doing that because I accommodate those, obviously consciously accommodate those. What's your view on cheat meals generally speaking in the off season and like, what do you like to eat? When do you like to eat? Like,
So I'll be real. I don't have like a structure with it.
okay,
In the sense that I think I kind of take them as they come.
yeah.
As kind of like as like it's not always great, but
Mhm.
then for me, it kind of ties into the fact that with work I have the freedom, with my food I have my freedom as well.
Mhm.
Um, Therefore, putting both of those together, my stress levels go from here all the way down to here.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So if I start to stress about food, that's another thing that I need to stress about on top of everything else I'm stressing about, bro.
yeah,
Like there's some weeks where, bro, I'll go 3, 4 weeks without even touching a cheat meal.
yeah,
Could be that one week where I've gone out four nights in a row
yeah,
just to go eat, bro. Like there's just like things that come up, and I'm like, yeah, cool, we're gonna eat here, eat here, eat here.
yeah.
But I try to tend to keep myself in like my prep sort of mind state,
Mhm.
just so that I'm eating everything that I need to be doing.
Yes,
But I'm never gonna say no to when something needs to come around, sort of thing, Well, bro, I like eating everything, man. I'll be real.
yeah,
Like it will go from it depends on kind of like where we at. Like I love like Oriental food, bro. Like beautiful stuff, man.
yeah,
But I'm still very happy with my burgers and like my
Burger
all
and
this
chips
kind
are
of
best.
stuff, man.
Yeah,
So I can eat anything, bro. But I
yeah.
would say, like for me, the best thing that I've kind of told myself is, you know what, give yourself the freedom with the food.
Mhm.
Just make sure that that baseline is second to none, man. I need to have that baseline perfect
Yep.
so that I can allow myself to just dive off. But
Yeah. I'm
it's never affected me, bro. That's the
yeah.
problem.
I'm enjoying this podcast a lot because I realize we're very similar. We're
Yeah,
very
man. Yeah,
similar.
yeah.
Like because my life is obviously significantly more structured because I'm not self-employed.
Yeah.
Like Wednesday is almost non-negotiable because what I find is I have a mental. I don't want to call it a mental block because I get it done, but I kind of have. I've always had nerves about deadlifting. I always have, and I deadlift on a Thursday.
Okay.
So that although that cheat meal itself may not be actually doing anything for those deadlifts.
It's just about here, man.
It relaxes me to think I've got calories in me ready to burn. And I'm going to rip this bar up for reps. And it
Yeah,
just has always helped me.
yeah,
It's always
yeah,
helped
yeah.
me. In prep, I find a different motivation. I get it done regardless. I find a different motivator for it. But in the off season, sometimes you're just strong and things just move easy. And then you get that
Because you
one or
ate.
two
Yeah,
movements
yeah,
that
yeah,
they just take your soul. And you're like, shit, I've got to get ready for this
yeah,
again.
yeah, man.
And I need that little bit of like, what is going to get me through this with confidence? And that's usually what it is. I turn up the next day,
Yeah,
whether I've been ill, whether I don't feel so strong, whether I'm tired. It's like, Gene, mate, you had this cheat meal yesterday. Put that shit to work and work, like, do your
and
thing.
work, man. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The Saturday is a little bit different. If Deanna don't want to do nothing, it's like cool. I just won't have the cheat meal. I'll eat regular. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
But the Wednesday is more or less has to be in there just to help me keep progressing. Mainly that lift. To be honest, I think that's the only lift that actually makes me nervous. There's no leg day lifts that make me nervous because I love training legs. It's my favorite day to train.
yeah. To
I
be fair,
don't,
I'm on the same page with you with that.
yeah,
Lifting makes me nervous, bro.
proper nervous.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is because I'm good at them. I've always been good at them.
yeah, same. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like I'm trying to get in that zone and my heart is just beating.
Yeah. I have the nerves and my heart just starts going, bro.
I know.
I'm like,
I
oh shit,
know.
bro. I've still got like 1, 2 warm-ups left to do. I'm like, what's wrong with me?
I know.
I try and zone out, then I put my headphones in, zone out. I don't know. Do you use smelling salts?
No, I don't really use. I try to pick my words carefully in case I get a sponsor one day and they want me to take stuff. I don't use pre-workout. I don't use smelling salts.
Oh,
The closest assistance I use is liquid chalk and some wraps.
oh, really?
That's literally it. I'm like, yeah, I don't do use nothing.
I'm
Only
telling you, yeah. You see, because salts, for example, they always help, man. Right at the
yeah,
end, it's the adrenaline spike,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of knocks the nerves. You go numb, and then you just rip it, and
But
it works really well, man.
most
Like,
people I train with use them. So Opio uses them. Alex Stevens uses them. Who else
yeah,
have I trained with? One of my friends called one of my friends Scott. He doesn't bodybuild at the moment. Well, he doesn't bodybuild. He's more just a casual gym goer, but he
yeah,
uses them as well. He's strong in it, so he uses them as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I just never like I accidentally get whiffs, obviously where they use it and then
Would
throw it or
you
whatever.
understand? So you understand like the kind of smell, go.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Those
yeah,
ones.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah. It burns my fucking nostrils, mate.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it
Like I don't know if
makes
you see any of my videos, bro. Like some of the videos, I leave that part in. Like
yeah,
I'll just leave me smelling the salts, and I always fucking shout after,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and then I put it down and I just go
yeah.
because it just gets you hyped up, man. It depends how you take it.
This is the thing. So why I don't tend to use things like that is because my my routine for a heavy lift, it doesn't matter what it
Mhm.
is calm. I need to be calm. So I
Okay,
don't hype up. I like to
just
calm
calm
down.
down. Yeah,
Yes, because if I get hyped up, my mind almost gets in a frenzy and form is
goes out the window.
yeah, it's out the
Yeah,
window. So I'm there with it. I'm quiet. Take my breathing. First one, boom, ripped off the floor. No noise, no nothing. Ripped off the floor.
really.
Then I'm like, cool. Now I know I've got this. It's peak. It's over. Like I
Yeah,
know I've got this. But yeah, smelling salts would just it would yeah. When I think about pre-workout, it's the same reason I've never tried it because I'm like the idea of it is to get you energetic and da da da.
yeah,
And if you
man.
see me in the gym, I like from the minute I walk in to the minute I leave, not that I don't want to be there, but it's as though I'm going in there just to stroll. Like I'm not,
Yeah,
I'm kind of just like, yeah, where am I going to next? Blah, blah, blah. And I start working out, I start doing the movement, and you're like, what the fuck? Like it
yeah.
switches on.
Yes,
But
which
yeah,
is out of nowhere. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I'm just yeah, I'm different. I'm differently wired when it comes to that. I know other guys like me who do the same thing, but yeah, the smell and salts thing is not really I don't know if it'll I might grow to like it. Like recently, I'll go through phases because even recently I've stopped listening to music. So I listen to music if I'm
yeah,
training with somebody. If I'm training with somebody, I stop listening to music because I'm very good at creating a bubble, a mental bubble around me. So it doesn't matter what's happening. It's almost just before I pull that first rep or push that first rep, I'm it's almost silent. I'm almost in a blank room with
Yeah.
nobody there. And I'm very good at blocking things out. And then I start going and then it's different. And then I'm done and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm at the gym. Like that's almost what it's like.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's almost what it's like. That's how I've always been. I've always just been quiet. Like I've always been like that, trained like that. I always have. I try like the shouting stuff and that. It just unsettles me. It
Yeah,
unsettles my wavelength.
I
So
understand that, to be fair.
yeah.
I do get that, yeah.
Yeah. What you like? You big on music?
Bro, I love my music, man. Like
Yeah.
I think it's because like it does just zone you out. Like
Yeah.
for me, that's how I create my bubble.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, the studio freeze, man.
Yeah.
Like no canceling, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Bang, music
It's
on.
just you and your tunes.
Exactly, man, exactly. But then I think my tunes kind of like they tend to switch depending on what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. You
Yes.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
example, when I'm warming up, man, I'll just go old school. Go old school,
Yeah.
so I can chill and I'm
Yeah.
training, chilling. But then when it goes to like my heavy lifting, it goes heavy metal,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because I need it's noise. Noise helps, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so I try to put whatever kind of noise that kind of gets me going, and then I can put all my energy into the bar. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, my music always helps me, bro. It's always
I
helped me.
I found myself before I started. So obviously when I train alone, I still listen to music. I have my headphones in
Yeah.
the entire time. I just listen to like reggae and that.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Swear to God. I just listen to reggae and that. It's very rare. On a deadlift, I may put on drill, UK drill.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I may put on some UK drill for deadlift specifically, and then as soon as that's done,
Change it.
I'll swap it
Yeah.
back. But generally speaking, I'm listening to like reggae or yeah, usually reggae or some form of reggae like bashment or something.
Yeah, man. It keeps on nerves.
Yeah, I just like to just
Good
chilling,
vibes.
man. You'll see me most of the time in the gym, just eyes closed, just chilling between my sets, and then
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
literally
man.
just switch
Yeah.
on and switch off and switch on all session. That's kind of what I'm like. That's kind of what I'm like.
That's
Wait,
good, though, man.
where are you based? I know you. Well, I say I know you bounce around gyms. I've seen you train at Kings a lot.
Yeah. 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 So
Is that your home gym? Is that your only gym?
no, man. No,
I was
no.
gonna say because I know I've seen you.
Yeah, man. It's because I trained. So I live right under Heathrow.
I've seen you at Physique Warehouse. I'm sure.
Bro, Physique Warehouse. I've been training there full time for about 2 years. I was
Yes.
till
Okay.
the
Okay.
start of
Okay.
this year,
Okay.
and at the start of this year, I now go to a gym in Buckinghamshire.
All right. All right.
So I don't know whereabouts that is for you, but I don't. What gym do you train at now?
I split between Studio One and Pure Gym.
Studio One. Okay, what's that? Aldershot, no?
Aldershot.
Aldershot, yeah. See, because I train in Bourne End, which is it's not realistically, it's not too far from there. But I
None of that's that
train,
far from me. No.
yeah, the gym joint. That's the new gym I train at, man. 20
Yeah.
bodybuilding gym.
We need to link up for a session.
100%.
I would love to train with you. I see you're lifting. I'm gonna let you know right now on camera because I ain't got no ego. I don't barbell bench press.
Okay, okay.
I'm not doing that with you. I'll tell you
Okay,
that right now. I see the things you're pressing.
that's okay. That's okay.
Not in my wildest dreams would I ever load up a bar to do that. No
Oh,
way. I'm, I'm sure I see you do. If I'm misquoting you, correct me. I'm sure I see you do like 3 plates, more than that, even probably.
I've benched 190 kilo.
Right, I thought so. I'm sure I see recently.
Yeah.
You're hyping yourself up. You go in there and yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I've done 140 for 16 reps.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's the most I've done that so far. Um I've done I've hit 180 for a double, not was it a couple of days ago with
Yeah.
assisted reps from Leon. So that was the most I've held in my hands for that longest duration of time.
Yes.
But I think yeah, the next like my goals always change when it comes to this sort of thing, man.
Mm.
Um, like every time I go to bench, it was because I was always good at it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I
Yeah.
keep it in
I was
there.
just about to ask you, were you always good at that?
Bro, I was benching 100 kilo at like 15. And obviously, that's nothing compared to what my brother's doing. Huh? But like back then, like I was only training in my garden at that point. The first time I stepped into a gym, I benched 100 kilo.
Shit.
Yeah. It was like that. Um, and then it was always sort of like in embedded in like the people that I trained around with. We just wanted to get strong. We didn't
Yeah.
really care what we looked like, man. We just wanted to
Yeah.
get strong at everything. But then you start to realize that they kind of like fall, they fell hand in hand with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like over time, we were like, you know, we're getting strong, but shit, we're looking good as well. And
Mm.
obviously, if you add in everything else, like the bodybuilding side of it,
Yeah.
while still getting strong, then you've created a recipe for disaster right there, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
and then I've been trying. I'm a big advocate of just training heavy and hard, bro. So
Hmm.
I try to show everyone that this is what I've done and these are my results.
Yeah.
No, and yeah, man, it's never failed me. So we're just gonna keep on going.
It's
But
a good, it's a good formula to have because one
yeah,
thing with
man.
me when I first started, I trained because of physio for my leg because it atrophied because I tore my groin and then I tore my knee.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I stopped playing football. So I did that in football.
Hmm.
Luckily, it wasn't like, oh, Gene, you can't even do anything anymore. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
well, explosive sports are going to be a problem. It's basically what that was. So I couldn't play football anymore. So I was like, fuck. So I need to find something else to do. So I started in the gym just to literally just do physio work on my right leg just to get up to the left leg. And then I did that and it caught up real quick. And I was like, oh, this might be something I'm good at. Start training, blah, 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 blah. But even from the very beginning, I trained more. I was strong, but I trained more for the aesthetic. I wanted big arms. I wanted big this. I wanted big that. So I've never trained for strength. Not to say I'm not strong, but I've never trained for
yeah,
strength.
yeah,
So I see certain people. You're not one of them, but I see certain people who well, I see a lot of people who are stronger than me in certain lifts. Maybe not across the board, but in certain lifts they're a lot stronger than me.
yeah.
But they're like my chest is really good.
Hmm.
There's people, most people will probably outlift me on chest who train at a high level. I'm not that strong on chest, really. My pressing in general is not strong. My delts aren't even my delts aren't strong really either. But they don't look anywhere near me.
Yeah, but then that's the thing. Like it doesn't always fall hand in hand.
It doesn't always fall hand
It
in hand.
really doesn't, man.
It doesn't. And I think connection to the muscle is very important. I don't want to get too much into the science of how to train and that. I'm not a coach.
Yeah,
But yeah, connection to the muscle and that is obviously very important, and that's something that I put ahead of anything else. If I have
100%.
to take if I have to take 20 kilo off of my deadlift to make sure that every rep, don't get me wrong, if I'm doing a set of 10, the first seven need to be elite form. The
Mhm.
last three, I want to be struggling. I want to be fighting it because
Yeah,
that's when you're pushing your boundaries. I don't want all 10 to be perfect. Otherwise, you're just doing weights that you know you can do. That's not,
of course, yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's not fun. But yeah, the first seven need to be there. And then you're like, shit, how am I going to get these last three? And then you're fighting with the bar to get it up.
yeah. Which
That,
is the fun part, man.
yeah, that mentality towards training and that approach is how I structure all my lifts.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so my pressing, because it's not so strong, it's very rare I'll do a one rep max with a
It's
back off.
pointless. It's
Sorry,
pointless.
not one rep max. Sorry, that is pointless. You're right, but not
Yeah.
one rep max. I mean a top set, back off set.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For pressing, it's very rare I'll do that. Legs, I do it fairly frequently, and back, I do it fairly frequently for deadlifts.
Yeah.
But I try to implement way more volume on pressing because that's what responds better for me.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I see.
So I go heavy, but like if my one rep max for a I keep saying that. If my one top set for a shoulder press, for example, is 50 kilo for 8, let's say,
Yeah.
I'm trying to work to well, I posted something this morning. I'm trying to work my top set of 3 straight sets. My heaviest set out of that needs to be no less than 75, sorry, 45, 46 kilo.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't want to take too much off, but obviously there's going to be some
Drop
because
off.
of
You
the
you
volume, there's going to be
experience a
some
drop off.
drop off. So I want to pre-exhaust, but all of those 10 sets I got fatigued as opposed to just the one top one and then a back off, which is still valuable. But for me, with my pressing in particular, it's just something that I find a lot more I find a lot more value in that for me. I find a lot more value in it for me. How do you tend to structure your sets? I know obviously you said you're hard and heavy.
Yeah.
Like, are you volume? Are you like one top set back off, or are you a mixture?
So I'm a mixture. So at the minute, to be fair, I go off like a 2 week structure basis.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 week it's going to be a very much a top set back off orientated sort of sessions through the
Mm-hmm.
whole week. So
Yep.
that'll be sort of like a strength week. That's what I've just done, right? But the week coming now is going to be, I would usually say it's around 3 to 4 sets of
Cool.
everything. but this is where I focus on my straight sets and holding my volume, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
example, I won't ever fluctuate my weight from those sets. So
Yeah.
let's say if it's with bench press, for example, let's say I put 3 plates on, um, I'm not going to change that for 3 sets, and I'm going to have to try and match every single time.
Right. 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 Right.
So
Right.
I focus on my straight sets, put all my volume into that week,
Yeah.
and then this week there's still volume in
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
first week, obviously, but then that top set is just balls to the walls and then pull back
Yeah.
on your volume, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just not as much, but
Yeah. I
that's
know. I know.
the split that I have, so I can get a bit of everything in.
I like it, and I think it keeps you interested when you're
Yeah,
changing your approach. One thing with me, I'm not a logbook kind of guy. I try to avoid this conversation because you get such a mixture of opinions, and no one's wrong in my opinion.
no
I
one's
think
wrong.
it depends on who you are. But for
Yeah,
me, the logbook creates a level of, I'm not even gonna say accountability because you can only lift what you can lift. It creates a level of nerves for me personally where I'm like, I'm not going in ready to enjoy my session. I'm going in ready to fight to get this number that my book says I should be getting, regardless of how I feel.
yeah,
And I'm sorry, I'm not a full-time bodybuilder. So there are too many variables in my life to basically have a conclusive judgment at the end of it to say, oh yeah, I should have got that or I shouldn't have got that. Last
yeah,
week when I got it, I had great sleep. Work was very low stress because it was just a slow day. I ate on time all my meals. Um, the weather was nice. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then
man.
you go
There's
the next
so
week,
many variables.
work was shit. I was traveling. I missed a meal. You know what I mean? And then you train and
Yeah,
you're like, shit, I didn't get it. And now you feel like a failure. When in actual fact, if you had the same exact variables from last week, you probably would have got it.
yeah,
So doing things on feeling, I think there's a lot of value in that, especially in the off season. I think in prep when you're everything needs to be a little bit more calculated because you're coming down and wait for a specific date.
yeah,
Everything's very, very, very calculated. I think it needs to be. But in off season, I think if you're strong, and one day I felt like I was Hulk, obviously mentally I'm more prepared to lift more today than I
yeah,
was when I felt like shit the other day.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. How many days a week do you train?
I have five a week at the minute, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 4, 5. Five's in
Yeah,
my fifth day's an
sweet spot.
optional day, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a sweet spot for me, man.
Yeah.
If you train too much in that, man, you're not giving your body enough rest.
You need rest. With you being enhanced now, there's that little bit of assistance even when you're training to help with your recovery.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, when I'm on cycle, I don't get DOMs.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
I
heard. I've heard.
I can train. I can train 7 days a week if I wanted to,
Yeah.
but I need to rest up here.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you're pushing yourself so hard, man, like regardless of what you're putting in your
Yeah.
body's still gonna need that just that little bit of relax, like that downtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't give yourself the downtime. Yeah,
The enhancements are supplements at the end of the day.
yeah,
They're supplements. Like there's no supplement in the world that is going to basically mean you don't need sleep. That mean you don't need
no,
rest.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
You need rest. Like it's, don't get me wrong, it's a very powerful supplement that helps with so much, but it's not the be all and end all. It doesn't mean you're no longer human. Like that's
Yeah,
not how that works. That's not how that
yeah,
works. It just obviously assists you in that. So
100%.
yeah, yeah. Um, I want to have you back on in the future because there's so
100%.
much more I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but let's wrap it up for today and 100% we need to link up for a session because we're not far from each other.
No, no,
What days do you train? What days do you train?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So you don't train Thursdays.
and
Uh
Sundays is off as well.
you train morning. I know obviously because you're self-employed, you can come train whenever you want.
Um, so I train strictly evenings.
Good. That works for me.
Um,
Okay, cool.
because obviously Leon's at school still.
Right.
So I wait for him to finish at 3. So he finishes at 3. We come back, we deal with the dog, we eat, do whatever we got to do, and then we go to the gym. And we spend
Okay.
to the gym. Yeah.
So is it just you and your brother living together?
No, 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 no. It's like the family home.
Right. Okay.
Like obviously I've got a dog. So
Yeah.
we take care of our dog as well, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Um, but yeah, man. Yeah, so it's strictly evenings.
Okay.
And you go all the way, bro, come to this spot.
Yeah?
Come and train at this spot one time and see how you like it.
Yeah, now I'm gonna come down. 100% I'm coming down. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what it is? This is like it's newly got to the point where it is at now. So
yeah.
it's doubled in size. So you've got everything in one room, and then
Mhm.
you've got a whole room, like it's like a hall for legs. Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, it's like a dungeon. This place is a beautiful, beautiful place. Yeah.
Is
So much
it?
space. Yeah, so much space. You can do whatever you want. The gym can be rammed and you can still feel like there's not enough people around you. You know
Flipping
what I mean?
hell.
It's a big spot, bro. But yeah,
Yeah.
one time and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Yeah, 100% coming down.
Exactly.
34 minutes. I might sign up there full time because
Honestly.
Pure Gym literally is like I can walk it in 5 minutes. It's right next to my
Okay.
house, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked that as like my emergency gym. It's like
Yeah.
when I can't make it to Aldershot because I've got shit in my life going on or I worked late and I need to go in and train, I
Yeah.
go to Pure Gym. But more time I try to make it down to Studio One. But half an hour is not bad at all. I'm a definitely come down. I'll
Yeah. It takes me about half an hour to get there as well.
yeah. Listen, thank you everybody for watching. Lewis, thank you for your time. I
Thank you,
appreciate you
man.
coming on. I know you're a busy man, you know, you got your stuff going on, your platforms going on and that. I appreciate the time. I'm definitely gonna have you back on. There's a lot more that I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, man.
Um, we need to record a session, man, get some more content out there. But
Easy. Easy.
yeah, as you're a business owner and you got your own stuff going on, you're trying to build your brand. Is there anything you want to say, promote before we sign off?
To be fair, just the same old one, man. Any
Yeah.
videography services, you know the man.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You know
yeah.
the guy, Ellie Visuals, man. Just have a little look for that, man.
Good.
You can find all my work there. See what you like. See what we can do.
Yeah, I'm gonna put your Instagram and your YouTube in the description below.
Perfect,
Um,
man.
check out his work on Instagram. Like I said 3 or 4 times during this podcast, it's all high quality stuff. Um, yeah, you won't be disappointed. So thank you again, Lewis, and
Thank you, man. I appreciate
catch
it.
everyone next time. Cheers.
Woo!